No player in a team sport should be going through this. This league has failed her, the officiating is totally biased against her, and her team doesn't lend her enough support. No other team or coach lets their superstar player get mauled on the court. Never happened to Asia, Stewie, or Nafisa. Only Caitlin Clark is not allowed to have any movement on the court. Caitlin Clark telling the ref, "That's just rude, grow up, come here, come here, come here." She also didn't end up getting a tech, which proves it was all the ref's disrespect that had riled her up so much. These WNBA refs are clearly not professional and need to be taken care of.
She's hot. Breon January having to hold her back. We'll take a timeout.
I mean, yo, she went from 0 to 100 real quick. She was upset, dog. I don't know what that ref said. I don't know what happened. But yeah, she was basically just saying that has nothing to do with it. So I don't know what they were discussing, but yeah, she was basically pissed about the entire situation, man, and was trying to go after the ref and talk to him, but just clearly walked away. Now,
Again, the WNBA is caught in a storm of its own, making a controversy that doesn't just raise questions, it exposes the league's fractured priorities. As they rush to discipline their biggest star, they continue to look away from the real issue that's been glaring at them all season, daring them to finally do something about it.
No, like, this young lady has transcended this damn league to heights they never thought they was going to get to. And for the way they're treating her is despicable. It's despicable and it's disgusting at times, bro. This is bad, man. This is bad, dog. And I feel like somebody need to have that voice for Caitlin. Somebody need to have that voice to call this shit out.
Following Caitlin Clark's heated exchange with referee Michael Price during the July 15th showdown against the Connecticut Sun, the league has launched what it calls a thorough investigation, but all signs point to them scrutinizing Clark, not the official who clearly lit the fuse. Once again, the focus is on policing the response rather than addressing the provocation.
Caitlin Clark visibly upset with the referee, screaming on the referee, but gets no technical foul. Do you know what that told me? That told me whatever that referee said was a big no-no. Whatever that referee said, as soon as it left his mouth, he said, damn, I definitely should not have said that.
What went down at TD Garden wasn't your average technical foul, it was a deliberate provocation. Referee Michael Price didn't just blow a whistle, he lit a match. And when Caitlin Clark finally stood her ground, calling out the blatant disrespect, the league flipped the script, painting her as the aggressor and launching an investigation into whether she threatened an official. The hypocrisy's so thick it doesn't need explanation, it needs a spotlight.
Yeah, just going through it slowly, it looked cordial. Like they are just talking, right? Just simple. And yeah, she's calm. Look at her face. She's very much so calm. Calm. Had a little shock look there. I don't know what he's saying. He points some fingers. That finger point. It gets real. That fingers start pointing. Right. All right. Yeah. Talking. Then she's like, ugh, like what? Trying to make an understanding of what he just said. And I think she was about to say that has nothing to do with it. But he said something else, then he walked off.
Let us be crystal clear about what actually happened in that third quarter. Caitlin Clark was already battling through another night of inconsistent officiating. Then came the overturned out-of-bounds call after a Sun challenge, a questionable decision that only added fuel to the fire. What followed looked like a routine exchange with referee Michael Price until it wasn't. Something changed. Price said something that flipped Clark's frustration into fury. You don't go from calm conversation to needing to be physically held back by assistant coach Breon January unless a serious line was crossed.
Nah, I crossed the line. Because you don't get screamed on by a player like that. You don't get shown up on the court by a player like that and not call a technical foul unless you were in the wrong. The refereeing yesterday, we see Tina Charles hit AB with a stiff forearm. Literally turns around and hits her with a stiff forearm. We see Sophie Cunningham get elbowed in her neck.
The cameras caught Clark erupting, "Are you kidding me?" before teammates pulled her away. But she wasn't finished. Moments later, she confronted referee Charles Price again, calling him out. That's just rude, grow up. She then made a phone gesture visibly saying, I will be calling the league on you, and now instead of examining what could have pushed one of the league's most composed stars to that breaking point, the WNBA is reportedly investigating her, not the official, for possibly violating conduct policies by daring to hold him accountable.
Uh-oh. Wonder what he said. Oh! She was about to run over there.
I'm not a good lip reader.
What did he say?
I got it, but I don't want to read card 99.
Huh.
She said basically, "Are you kidding me?" to Michael Price, and that was Breon January, who is
She said, that's just rude,
9
grow up.
years in Indiana
Oh!
on the staff.
Oh my
That's a
goodness.
live shot now of Caitlin Clark.
What's the issue? What happened?
He's still upset and wants an explanation from Michael Price.
She's gonna be calling him. He's like, whatever.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. This is the same league that's let Caitlin Clark take hit after hit without lifting a finger to protect her. The same league that stood by as refs made head-scratching calls against the biggest star in the sport. And yes, the same league that's cashed in on the Clark effect. Soaring ratings, sold-out arenas, and a media spotlight they haven't seen in years. But the moment their golden goose dares to speak up, dares to call out the officiating that's been suspect all season, suddenly they remember they have a rulebook. Suddenly, they want to play disciplinary committee.
Why is it a problem that Caitlin Clark is calling out this referee? God forbid she finally stands up for herself. I mean, these WNBA refs are garbage, and they've been letting her get absolutely mugged on a nightly basis. Matter of fact, one of the players last night on the Connecticut Sun, or whatever they're called, literally targeted her groin. Comes a point in time where it's like, you just can't keep getting bullied. Like, you got to stand up for yourself. WNBA refuses to do anything to protect her. And for all the morons, the low IQ people out there saying like, oh, if Angel Reese did this, it'd be an even bigger issue. Yeah, because Angel Reese isn't the one getting bullied and targeted on a nightly basis. Let's use our heads for 1 second instead of being total morons.
Most infuriating part of this entire situation, anyone with eyes and a working brain can see Caitlin Clark didn't just snap out of nowhere. Something was said. A line was crossed. This is a player who's kept her composure through brutal hits, no calls, and defense that would make NBA vets wince. She's been slammed to the floor, poked in the eye, and hounded every possession, and still she's shown more professionalism than most seasoned pros. But even Clark has a breaking point. And when a referee decides to mouth off to the league's most valuable player, that's when things truly unravel. The fact that the WNBA is more focused on her reaction than the provocation that triggered it, that says everything you need to know about how backwards this league's priorities really are.
And she just explodes here, fam. Just gets angry, start going out and saying that has nothing to do with it. Like, oh my goodness, look at her, man. I don't know what he said, right? But it pissed her off completely. Man. And yeah, she goes to the sideline and she's pissed. Now,
Coach Stephanie White has been sounding the alarm all season. Her words about the way Caitlin Clark is officiated now read less like criticism and more like prophecy. She's called it out time and time again how Clark keeps getting fouled, how it's a complete joke the way referees handle games involving the Fever. After the Sun game, White revealed that Clark tweaked her groin, yet another result of unchecked physical play that went uncalled. This isn't an isolated incident. It's a pattern. Refs let defenders get away with punishing Clark. They swallow their whistles on obvious fouls. And when she finally reaches her breaking point and speaks up, they try to paint her as the issue. It's like watching someone get bullied all day, only to see them punished for finally pushing back. And here's where it gets even more absurd. Clark spent much of her rookie season just one technical away from an automatic suspension. She ended with 6, barely avoiding the league's threshold of 7. That should have been a red flag. A warning sign. The league had plenty of chances to address the root cause, the inconsistent, often hostile officiating. But instead they let it fester. They let it build. Until it all boiled over right on national television.
Her father tried to warn the league. All right, preseason interview, Brazil game, Iowa. He brought up the officiating, and the commissioner ignored it. Continues to ignore it. The officiating's terrible. These players just beat the crap out of... Honestly, it's not just Caitlin Clark. I watched them beat the crap out of other players too. I don't want to hear a physical league. I watched a physical NBA in the 80s and the 90s, the early 2000s. This is different, folks. It is.
What makes this investigation into Clark even more galling is the league's sudden sense of urgency that's been missing all season when it comes to officiating. Game after game, we've seen blown calls, unchecked physicality, and referees who seem completely overwhelmed. Coaches have had to go public with their frustrations just to get the league's attention. But when the WNBA's biggest star finally calls out a ref for crossing a line, now they want to act. This is the same league that openly admitted officials lost control in earlier fever. Sun Games, the same league that's had to upgrade fouls after the fact because referees missed clear infractions in real time. And the same league that's allowed the excessive contact Clark endures to become a season-long narrative. But when she dares to say she's reporting a ref for unprofessional behavior, that's when they draw the line. The irony is staggering. Clark's gesture saying she'd call the league is exactly what any professional should do when an official crosses the line. That's not misconduct. That's following protocol. But instead of seeing it for what it is, a player standing up for herself through the right channels, the WNBA treats it like a challenge to their authority. And that says everything about how this league chooses its battles.
You can only suppress the frustration for so long. You can maintain your composure for a while, but eventually, the suppressed anger is going to surface. For the most part, Caitlin Clark has been able to maintain her composure while dealing with an unbelievable amount of bullshit. Constant criticism from the mainstream media, criticism from pretend analysts like Monica McDougal, who wasn't qualified to play in the WNBA. Girl, who is this white girl? She's trying to take over our league. Why are all these white people watching pretend basketball? This league belongs to us. There's no room for the others. For 2 years, Caitlin Clark has dealt with overly physical defense from opposing players. When Caitlin Clark drives the lane, I don't know if her opponent is playing deep.
Meanwhile, the WNBA continues to ignore the elephant in the room. The officiating is bad and it's only getting worse. Game after game, we see calls so baffling that players, coaches, and fans are left in disbelief. The inconsistency is no longer just frustrating, it's damaging the product. It's affecting the flow, the fairness, and the overall enjoyment of the game. But instead of confronting this glaring issue, the league has chosen to zero in on the one player bold enough to call it out. And the timing couldn't be more suspect. Clark is days away from playing in the All-Star game in Indianapolis, a showcase the WNBA has been hyping non-stop because of her. So let's get this straight. They'll market her, promote her, and profit off her, but the moment she demands accountability, they investigate her instead of the problem. That's not leadership. That's cowardice disguised as discipline.
The referees yesterday, they were in a league of their own in terms of incompetence. It's the last time we saw the Connecticut Sun, you would think that we would have a crew that would set the tone saying, hey, all of this dirty play is not flying today. But when you're in the WNBA and you have not one, not two, but three incompetent officials all at one time, well, beggars can't be choosers.